Jack Burton, and Carolina has a touchdown.
So they're like, oh, well, we need real players. Oh, okay. So you need a quarterback? Sure.
Another opportunity, spins out of a sack, throws it to the back of the end zone. He's got his man. Touchdown, New Orleans.
He's up to the 30. He's gone, baby. My goodness. Somebody cool off that man's feet because they're on fire.
This is going to explode big time.
The SFL Network on Twitch welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Hello, SFL Nation from New Orleans, Louisiana. The Pharaohs taking on the Denver Nightwings today. And alongside Eric Vincent and Smokey Durrell on stats, I'm your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine, to kick off Week 12. How you doing, Eric?
I'm great today, Cam. I'm happy to call this game with you. And, we talked about this a little bit off air, but both these teams coming in here, we thought this was going to be a matchup to kind of circle as the season went on, two possible playoff contenders. Now only one of them.
Instead, the Pharaohs licking their wounds from a very difficult season, and for Denver, trying not to relive a nightmare from the end of last season when they were in control of their own destiny, suffered a loss on the road to a team that had already been eliminated from the playoffs, and that ended up putting them on the road in the championship game against Alaska, and ultimately did not get that done. The Nightwings choose tails, and it's heads. New Orleans will kick it away, and Denver will get the ball to start first. We're all ready to go. From Lieutenant Russell Honore Stadium, ball's on the tee, the hands in the air. New Orleans, kick it. We're underway. Ball returned up to the 28-yard line. That is Bryce Battle, and we meet Josh Miller, who Eric was impressed by last week. 89% completion percentage against London.
Yeah, and that's really the stat that jumps out to me this last game. London, obviously a very good team, a playoff contender, and going out there and just firing the ball lights out, only having 4 completions while throwing it over 30 times. That's a hell of a stat line.
First down to the 28, handoff, Jared McChesney breaks a tackle, past midfield to the 45 and out of the 43-yard line. Tackle by Kappa Jones at the end of the play, but what a start from McChesney.
And this is the kind of opportunity that Jared McChesney can bring this ball club. He had 100 yards rushing as well in the game against London. Look at him lower the shoulder there, that initial tackler, and then eventually getting dragged down. But a great run there and a great start here for the Denver Nightwings offense.
Can't ask for a better start if you're Denver, the only one-loss team remaining in the SFL. Their only loss coming to Alaska, so in fact their last 2 losses in the franchise's history to the 3-time champion Storm. First and 10 at the Pharaoh 43. Play action pass from Miller. The route at the top of the screen is covered up, and New Orleans gets an interception. Levant Irvine. Denver loves that route to the top of the screen to Giacomo Jones off that play, but Irvine gets the pick.
And we talked about this already, Cam, to start the broadcast. Denver just needs to take care of business here. This is not taking care of business. Your second play from scrimmage, you throw a pick. And these New Orleans linebackers are very, very impressive as well. Levant Irvine, Heath McDaniel, the second, both very impressive. Good to see them playing well to start things off here.
Pharaohs in the black helmets, black jerseys, white pants. Denver in the black helmets, white jerseys, black pants today as Logan Jack gets a carry, pickup of 1. Eric, Denver's probably one weakness over the last month or so have been giving up huge chunk plays on the ground game. Robert Redford and Reggie Streeter, the last 2 running backs they've faced.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, New Orleans has a kind of a porous rushing attack as well, coming from Logan Jack, which you wouldn't necessarily expect, only averaging less than 90 yards a game.
Showing press coverage. Gold's pass is intercepted. as that route was cut off by Justin Jones, a phenomenal second-year player who started his career with San Francisco, and back we go the other way.
Man, a defensive battle to start things off. This here to start things, and an impressive cut there by the corner to just run the route better than the receiver, and Denver gets the ball right back. The defense bailing out.
He was defending Deezer Powell, and Powell fourth in the league at 1,136 receiving yards. Now Miller flips it out to McChesney, and McChesney stopped by Aaron Arrington after a pickup of 2, and lots of defensive superstars, well, big names on the field today for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked about the New Orleans linebackers a little bit. Levant Irvine and Heath McDaniel II, 2 big-time linebackers. Ray West is a big-time defensive tackle as well. You've got Rolliman Hood and Aaron Arrington, who we saw earlier. Kappa Jones and Tank Bennett. Just an impressive defensive unit here, just not putting up the numbers this year.
Miller lofts one far side, and McChesney a rare drop as Tank Bennett was all over him right behind his back. So just recapping some quarterback numbers here. We've got, what are we, 1 for 3 passing with 2 picks total?
Between the two of them, yes.
Not a good start. 5 wide for Miller. Press coverage at the line for New Orleans. Everybody's bumped, and the slant is caught. First down to the 27-yard line as that pass hauled in by Logan Keel at the bottom of the screen.
Good job. The ball to Keel there, and Keel a good route run there as well. Double coverage there, but was able to position himself in front of the defenders. That way he could get the ball and get the first down.
First and 10 at the 27 of New Orleans. Both teams threw picks on their opening possessions. New Orleans showing a blitz. They're going to come with it. McChesney runs right into it and right past it. McChesney wrapped up by Bennett, but still pushed forward by Arrington for a pickup of 8 to the 20. Nice run from McChesney. Made something out of nothing.
Yeah, very impressive run there by McChesney, able to get out of the backfield and like you said, make something out of nothing. He had a 2-yard loss at least back there. Somehow turns it into a gain of 8, and that's exactly what you're looking for from your star running back.
Jones in the slot now. The handoff will go to McChesney. Bounces off of West and then is planted in the ground by number 96, Andre Daniels. West getting in there early, but New Orleans, nice job forcing a third down when it looked like a first down was a sure thing.
Yeah, definitely a good cleanup play there by the New Orleans defense. They have good pursuit from what I've seen of their tape. Their defense, great pursuit by each member of it. Again, especially the linebackers, love to harp on them.
McChesney not going to get the first down. What a play by Heath McDaniel II. He came in unblocked and stopped McChesney for no gain, and both defenses still playing strong.
Yeah, and that's the type of plays that I was talking about with these New Orleans linebackers. They run around with their hair on fire. If they make a mistake, they do it doing 100 miles an hour.
4th and 2. Denver showing they might go for it. 3 in the backfield. It's very early. Oh, and New Orleans jumped offside, and the handoff goes for a first down. And this, one of the reasons why the Pharaohs are 2-8 this season. Just a lack of execution in the most critical of moments, and that'll be a first down no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, that was definitely the struggle bus driving by there, and the New Orleans defense was driving it. So that's not what you want to see there from the defense on 4th and short, wanting to get off the field. And, man, that's just a mistake you don't want to see.
Skeeter Baja got the first down. That was Andre Daniels, who just made the great tackle a couple of plays ago, jumping offside. 35 viewers right now here on Twitch. A shout-out to Look Alive 24, who subscribed for the 8th month in a row. P. Devious, Minson Mines, Xander Gold, Mark Anthony 1982, Nick Casso, Mexico City Aztecs, Ray and Yola, Average Joker, and many more in the chat here this afternoon. In the red zone, dump off, inside the 10-5, touchdown! Denver all alone. That score goes to Graham Canyon, and the Nightwings are on the board first.
And a good job by this Denver offense capitalizing on the turnover that their defense got them. And just that was bad pursuit by New Orleans that time, as their defenders just got swooped in at that screenplay. I'm not sure why they jumped so quickly, but just bad angles at that point. It was just an easy score to the pylon there by Denver.
6 carries, 55 yards for McChesney in the early going, including that 45-yard run on his first carry of the day. Miller now 2 for 3 for 22 yards, a touchdown and a pick, and the extra point by Kramer Jackman is up and good, and Denver leads 7-0. Looking at the top 6 in the playoffs right now, Denver 9-1. There's a 4-way tie at 8-2. Baltimore has the edge. Strength of victory having to play all of those tiebreakers 2 through 5 at the moment.
Yeah, and some impressive looking ball clubs there in that top 6. And we talked about it a little bit. Baltimore being the one that you weren't necessarily expecting to start the year, but a very impressive Vulture squad there sitting at the number 2 seed currently.
A deep kick from Kramer Jackman lands on the Pharaoh's face in the end zone. And as Xander Gold will try again, just that one pass that was picked off. The Nightwings, an impressive defense, Eric. At one point, they were on pace to possibly set a record for least amount of points given up in a season. A couple of weeks of bad run defense ruined those opportunities, but Denver still pretty lethal force on the defensive side as Gold's pass is out of bounds. Hit as he threw, again looking for Powell. Bailey Baca on the pressure.
And that's what makes them, honestly, so lethal, is that they've got a great defensive front there. Obviously, Bailey Baca at the front of that, one of the main stars. They signed Nick Miller in Week 11 to a contract as well. So those two guys, along with the other guys on that defensive front, causing pressure, causing havoc. That's why they're one of the top defenses in the SFL.
2 in the backfield, and Gold going to throw. 2nd and 10. Hit as he threw again. Pass caught at the 33-yard line. That catch made by number 85, Roman Vickers, the tight end.
Yeah, gutsy throw and catch here for sure. Roman Vickers with a great play as he gets off the line. We'll see if he's nudged a little bit there by Adam Weissman, but not really knocked too far off his route. Able to find a hole in the zone and complete the pass there.
First down of the 33. Tackle made by, I believe, Justin Jones. First down with 6.5 to go in the first. This is Gold over to Jack. Jack, no blockers, spun away from one, but Jones there to make another tackle. This defensive unit for Denver is vast. Players to watch for: Bailey Baca and Nick Miller on the line, a Week 11 signing. Adam Wiseman at linebacker, a Week 7 signing. Mike Sawchuk plays inside. Justin Jones and Lee Adama, who was signed in Week 8, at the corner spots, along with B.J. Armstrong. Safeties include Josh Vasquez and Nicholas Warner. Lots of great talent on this Nightwings D. Gold deep down the field. It's dropped, poked away by, I wanted to say, did that look like number 21, Josh Vasquez?
That looked like Vasquez. Yeah, we'll get another look here because Armstrong was definitely smoked off the line, and it was Vasquez getting in there and poking it free.
Watch this.
Great free safety. It played with him in Atlanta, and man, oh man, he's one of the better safeties out there. Very underrated safety in the SFL.
And I think it was Vasquez that actually made that tackle on Jack in the flat a couple of plays ago.
Yes.
Not used to seeing a number 21 free safety out there. It's usually a corner's number. 5:54 to go in the first. 3rd and 6 at the 37. Denver pressing as well. And Gold going long, and the pass is caught in traffic by Powell to the Denver 38-yard line. And that's why he's one of the best receivers in the league 2 seasons running.
And honestly, this is the type of offense we were expecting to see from New Orleans all season long. Very impressive there. Throwing it right on the sideline there, only where Deezer Powell can get it. Very impressive coverage, though, by Denver. It wasn't like they were slouching off at all. So a great pitch and catch there for New Orleans.
Gold up to 43 yards. He's 3 for 6 passing. 4 wide now for Gold, going empty. And Gold has been aggressive here in the first quarter. Back to throw, flip it outside to Jack, pickup of 2. And when you're 2-8 and out of the playoffs, Eric, why not take some shots down the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be aggressive. Go ahead and hit the pedal to the floor. You know, you got weapons like Deezer Powell out there that's going to catch just about anything that is thrown to him. Yassine Clifton is on your team. You know, I'm still blown away. It seems like he is such a quiet part of this offense, and he's one of the most formidable tight ends in the SFL.
Logan Jack breaking a tackle, and then a second. Logan Jack gonna score a touchdown, New Orleans. That has been Denver's weakness over the past few weeks, and they're 1 point away from tying the ball game.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And man, the struggles continue on the run defense. I'm still a little surprised by the Denver run defense here. Not surprised by the ability of Logan Jack to break tackles, though. He's a thick dude, and he is very, very hard to get onto the turf. 5'11", 242. Reminds me a lot of a running back in the other league, Maurice Jones-Drew. A bit of a pocket hamster there. Hard to get him down on the ground.
What do you think about the all-white pants, no stripes from New Orleans today? I think that they're the first team ever to debut that look.
You know, looking at a couple folks in the chat, they're not liking them a little bit. But, you know, I honestly would prefer maybe the black pants. You don't have to have the striping. But the white pants, it's a unique look. I like it.
It's definitely challenging on the eyes for their opponents, yes. I would imagine, as you're as you're trying to catch them guys in black, and then Logan Jack gets low, and you say, wait, where'd they go? Tie game at 7. Like us on Instagram at Simulation FL, and give our partner Nation's Best a like while you're there. We've got some major breaking news today with me on the broadcast, and that comes your way after the end of the first quarter. You won't want to miss it. It is groundbreaking stuff, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So New Orleans responds. Battle returns to the 30, and it's Denver's task to answer now.
And Tom Rahman 11 getting in the chat as well, saying they forgot their brown pants. So that was why they decided to rock the white ones today.
Does he mean gold? I'm not sure what he's saying. Miller out of the gun, quick slant. Allen, that's his first catch 6 minutes into this game. Avery Allen signed in week 4, but he is quickly becoming one of the most used and explosive tight ends in the league.
Yeah, 2 touchdown grabs last week against London. And he has been a very impressive signing and a good addition here for Denver. You've never heard it's a poo joke, Cam. You've never heard the bring me my brown pants joke?
No, I guess my brain didn't think about saying poo on the air, as McChesney's not going to get the first down. That's the second time in a second or a third and 2 or less that McDaniel Jr. has prevented McChesney from moving the chains.
Good pursuit, good speed. That's what you want to look out for, specifically from Irvine and McDaniel. Those are the 2 guys that are going to get there and cause a ruckus in the run game.
McChesney on 3rd and inches. Nice stretch play to the outside. Moves the ball up to the 47 for a first down.
Yeah, and this was just good vision here by McChesney. He was going to bounce to the outside, then cuts back in, following his blockers, and just getting enough for the first down to move the sticks.
7 minutes in, first game of week 12, tie game at 7. 40 now in the SFL chat watching along today, alongside many a college football game, but not really a great slate for college today, as Miller dropping to throw, dumps it way short. It's going to be a 5-yard loss for Giacomo Jones, and I don't think that's what Jones was envisioning on his first catch of the day.
Yeah, that's what I like to call a woof. Like, woof, man. That was not what you wanted to do there. A loss of 5 on a pass play, going to your wide receiver, no less.
Miller to throw, got smacked. There's a flag late down the field. And I don't know if the official was saying face mask or if he was just scratching his head. But interesting call here. I think the Pharaohs may have gotten a little handsy downfield.
That's what it's looking like. And, Levon's Irvine usually very good in coverage. I think that one was a little cheeky, little suspect. We'll get a look here.
and didn't get a great look at the play. Yeah, my guess is that Irvine just lost track of where he was on the field, and they got 5 yards down the field, and he was still grabbing. Trying to chase. 1st and 10 at the Faro 41-yard line. 3:05 to go in the first quarter. 7 in the box for New Orleans, and Miller will throw. Miller outside to McChesney, and McChesney will break away from Arrington, shoved out of bounds by McDaniel the second for a 7-yard pickup. The early quarterback comparison. Both QBs have shaken off early picks and starting to have nice days.
Yeah, absolutely. Both offenses starting to click a little bit here as McChesney was wide open on this play. Arrington had a little bit of trouble bringing him down. McDaniel, that's what you have him there for. He's big linebacker, big strong linebacker, able to usher him out of bounds.
Now, Xander Gold has struggled with the picks this season, 21, which is towards the bottom of the league. But Josh Miller with just 10 picks in 10 games, which in the SFL is very impressive, as McChesney going to make a few men miss, shoves a Faro back into the tomb, down to the 4-yard line. McChesney in the red zone.
Let me show you back into your sarcophagus here, mate.
Wow, what a stop from McChesney. He literally stopped and had a glass of lemonade here in the humidity of Louisiana.
Good grief. That was a punishing run there by McChesney.
Gets it down to the 4, and after the defenses in the first 7 minutes, or the first few minutes, I should say, were punishing these offenses for a lackadaisical play, the O has shown up. Oh, excuse me, Levant Irvine, you're still here, and McChesney gets nothing.
Yeah, don't forget about this, man. This is a bad man, too. Levant Irvine, one of the better linebackers there. A bit of a mercenary as well. Hasn't really found a home. This is his 4th team now. And maybe he'll stick around here in New Orleans with this defense.
And McChesney, he's not going to get in 3rd and goal from the 3. That Irvine hit was like the water boy visualizing his enemies. And the enemy a few plays ago, the official that called the pass interference, I didn't touch nobody!
H2O!
3rd and goal at the 3. 1:28 to go in the first quarter. Allen is off the line to the left. I formation. New Orleans looking for a goal line stand. One more handoff, and 3 straight handoffs will not get Denver into the end zone. The touchdown saving tackle made by number 92, Marcellus Mitchell, off the line, and Kramer Jackman and the Nightwings will have to settle for 3.
Yeah, very impressive goal line stand by New Orleans, and that's exactly what you need to keep yourself in this ball game and play the upset hero here at home in New Orleans.
19-yard chip shot for Kramer Jackman, who still hasn't missed, and the field goal is good. It is 10-7 in New Orleans. Coming up next, the Houston Hyenas pulled the upset over Chicago last week. Can they get a big one over Mexico City? Kickoff at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central on Twitch. And then tomorrow's early games starts at the Hive in Atlanta. The Renegades go to the Swarm, where Atlanta tries to secure their first playoff trip since Season 9. OKC playing better ball of late, and that'll be a good one. Action starts at 2:30 Eastern. Another kneel down from Arrington. Jackman not giving this great return man, Aaron Arrington, a chance to do much so far this afternoon.
And that's why you've got yourself a star kicker. Also, side note, just wanted to give a quick shout out to I'm a Effing Problem, old Mark Chisholm there in the chat. He gave me a shout out towards the beginning of the broadcast, and I didn't get a chance to say hello. So, hello, good sir, and good luck to your Swarm there at the Hive tomorrow.
1st and 10 at the 20 for Xander Gold with Jack in the backfield. Gold going to throw to a wide open receiver underneath. That's a 9-yard gain, and that's John Jameson, who was signed in week 7, making that play.
Wonder if he's a distant cousin of J. Jonah Jameson from the Daily Bugle. But that was a great catch there, especially on 1st down. Make a 2nd and manageable here for your offense as the first quarter almost winds to a close here, Cam.
Jack with just 1 carry and 1 yard in the first quarter on the ground. Gold going to pass again. Out to Jack, his 3rd catch. Logan Jack got a 1st down. And actually, that's his 4th catch, has over 40 yards and a touchdown so far today. And
I think we're starting to see what the game plan is for New Orleans here, Cam.
that ends the first quarter. We'll be back and, in a moment. Today's Simulation Football League game on Twitch TV is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. And also brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond the Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official design partner, or branding partner of the Simulation FL, and by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. The beautiful suburbs of Louisiana, and when it's not so stinking hot around here, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, no kidding. I come from Central Florida, though, so, humidity and warmth, all that comes almost natural to me.
First and 10 at the 32. Gold wide open. Deezer Powell. You can't do that. A 9-yard pickup. Justin Jones, I think, guessed wrong on Powell's play. And actually, I want to make a clarification. I believe Jack has 43 yards and 4 carries on the ground. He has caught 1 pass for 1 yard. Second down and 1 at the 41-yard line. And a draw play. Oh, Logan Jack got picked up and thrown down by his face mask. You're not going to ever see a more vicious face mask than that, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah,
Ouch.
I actually really like Mike Sawchuk. He's one of the better linebackers in the SFL, but man, you can't do that. Oh my gosh. Just ripped his head off, essentially. I'm surprised it's still on his shoulders.
If his helmet would have flew off, I think I would have taken all the money out of my savings, rushed to 2K, and said, just take it. First and 10 at the 44. That was unbelievable. And hope Jack's okay. Gold scrambling out of pressure. Fires, tipped up in the air. And one hand works, at least, for Adama. Couldn't get the other one up, and brings up second and 10.
I think it was just a matter of Lee Adama just not being able to track it. Tipped it up in the air, knew that he touched it, just not sure where it was going to land, and couldn't quite complete the interception there. But a great play nonetheless.
So what's the big announcement? The first round of the SFL draft and the season preview show, a 90-minute spectacle, will be live on 11 Sports from 11 Sports headquarters, live in studio, Saturday, December 14th. Time to be determined. Saturday, December 14th, live on television from 11 Sports headquarters. The first round of the draft. Later rounds will be played out the following week, but I will be there, and the full cast of analysts will be announced later in the playoffs. And if you're interested in being on television and want to try to find your way up to Connecticut, you are more than welcome to volunteer. Just send me a DM for specifics. Yassine Clifton, first down to the 24-yard line with a long pass downfield.
And finally, they're getting Yassine Clifton involved here. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Just a very underrated portion of this offense, as he's a big-time tight end and a big-time target. And that was big-time news there, Cam. I'm super excited to see the first round live in studio on TV. That's huge news.
We've talked to Eddie Gage. He might or is trying to make plans to be there live in person. Andrew Rastelli, Mike Daggs, Matt Wilson company, anybody up in that Northeast that can make it an easy drive. Still have to talk to Eric Barkley, very busy in the December month, but yeah, look at your calendars and see what you can come up with. Who knows, we may end up having a halfway convention, depending upon how many people really want to be on television.
Get them all in there. Jam-pack them like sardines. Let's go.
Just shuffle out the analysts every pick. Gold fires it out, and that's caught. And a late hit on Matt Wolf. Lee Adama way out of bounds. No call. And Denver got to be a little careful. Already got a face mask, a brutal face mask penalty from earlier in the drive.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think Liadama's starting to feel himself a little bit here. Good defense on a couple different plays, getting a couple different pass deflections, and good coverage there. Just I'd ease off a little bit as you're traveling out of bounds.
3rd and 2 at the 16. 8:42 to go in the first half. Handoff. Jackie's not going to get the first down. Sawchuk and number 55, Deontay Phillips, combined for the stop in the backfield, and now it's New Orleans that'll have to settle for a field goal. Ovaltine Jenkins, signed in Week 9, is the Pharaohs' kicker.
Yeah, and disappointing here if you're New Orleans getting that goal line stand the previous drive against Denver, wanting to take the lead here, but you'll settle for possibly the tie.
35-yard field goal for New Orleans is good, and Jenkins keeping up with Jackman, and we're all tied at 10 with 8:11 to go in the first half. And so far so good for New Orleans, trying to pull the upset, keeping things close in the matinee on this beautiful Saturday. Well, the wild card race is heating up. I'm sure it's going to be just as drama-filled as ever. Tulsa on the outside looking in, but they've been playing some great football. Vegas is a half game back. They are on the bye. And as mentioned earlier, Atlanta has a chance to clinch a playoff spot with a victory against Oklahoma City this week. On the return, battle up to the 27-yard line. When you look at that top six, or the wild card race, Eric, which team stands out to you?
Man, and it's tough because we talked about this a little bit as well. Chicago and Atlanta both surprised us here, as Atlanta obviously trying to make it back to the playoffs in season 9, but they're a very dangerous team. Sioux Falls and Queen City are always dangerous, but they're on the cusp right now. Vegas has been kind of average as of late. Tulsa starting to play better ball. I mean, it's anyone's opportunity here.
Again, Jones was covered, but a wide open Andrew James White picks up the first down of the Nightwing 45. A beautiful ball from Miller, who's now 7 of 8. The only incompletion, the interception.
And this is the type of quarterback play I was talking about to start things off. He seems like he's going to have another similar game. He's actually 3rd in the league right now in QBR. He's posting a 99.3 this season, which is incredible. Up there with Matt Wilson and Jacques Lulendula of Seattle.
Pass for Miller is not going to happen. Ray West with the sack. West had a brilliant game last week, and he played so well that he ended up moving quite high on the sack leaderboards, up to 10 for the season.
Yeah, and Ray West, a former linebacker, beefing up a little bit and moving down into defensive tackle position, very, very quick still from the line.
Miller out to McChesney, not much there, but did pick up a few. West had 5 sacks last week, now 10 for the season. Not anywhere close to Rhett Sawyer's 20.5. If Vegas can get into the playoffs, he could be an MVP candidate. Same could be said for Reggie Streeter, but if neither one of those teams get in the playoffs, Eric, who's the MVP in the SFL? And we'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. 3rd and 13, Miller to throw. Miller in trouble, and he's going to go down again. A 9-yard loss as the Pharaohs defense turns up the heat. Sack by number 95, Bryce Lincoln, one of the newest signings to this Pharaoh defense.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot from a lot of these teams in the SFL, beefing up their defensive line from all these newcomers coming in and enjoying what they're seeing out there on the football field. And very, very impressive showing there by the newcomer Bryce Lincoln, having a few weeks of experience under his belt.
6:15 to go in the first half, and Rider Live 154 asks, does any of these teams need a win to get into the playoffs? Denver's in, New Orleans is out, so no. But Denver needs a win to keep everyone else off their back. They are the best team in the league right now, record-wise, and they are a full game ahead of everybody else, trying to get that home field advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be a nail-biter for sure. It's not like they're, elbows above everybody else that's in that mix there. It's going to be a very intense stretch towards the end here to see who ends up where.
Gold out to Jack, and Logan Jack did just nothing on that far side. And if the playoffs were to start today, Eric, the quarterfinal matchups that we know of would be Alaska and Tallahassee and Mexico City and Seattle. Two classic. I mean, you talk about Mullinex playing his former team, and Tallahassee's had Alaska's number as of late. Handed the Storm one of their 3 losses this season, so it would really be one heck of a quarterfinals. The playoffs started today. Wolf picks up a few, going to bring up 3rd and 3. Got a generous spot halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, generous spot indeed, but no, you're absolutely correct on that. Those are some juicy matchups there, and they may still come to fruition as we've only got a couple weeks left here in the SFL regular season. Got to find out who's going to make it, but man, if Vegas can turn it on, they've got a couple dangerous weapons there that you touched on already, including Rhett Sawyer with over 20 sacks in his resume today.
Jack's not going to get the first down, and they're actually going to give him yet another generous spot. Said he picked up 2. Nice tackle by B.J. Armstrong. It'll bring up 4th down and 1, and New Orleans can't take advantage of 2 sacks on 3 plays against Miller on the last drive.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem here that we've seen with New Orleans. Just can't quite get themselves over the hump and take advantage of the situations they've been put in.
Battle on the return to the 16-yard line. Not much to write home about for New Orleans. Their offense has improved in recent weeks up to 15th. The defense has really struggled. The total offensive numbers for these teams are pretty comparable, but that Denver defense, top 5 in the league unquestionably.
Yeah, 100%. And you touched on it a little bit earlier. A few weeks back in the season, it was looking like Denver might set records with how good this defense is. So it's definitely going to be a tall task for New Orleans, and looks like they're playing pretty good ball to start things off here in the first half.
3 in the backfield. McChesney had some blockers, but Irvine goes over there to help Cornelius Arthur on the tackle. This Pharaohs defense led up front by Ray West and Bryce Lincoln, who each have a sack. Linebackers, Heath McDaniel II, Levant Irvine. Corners, Aaron Arrington and Rolliman Hood, who's been a little quiet. In the safeties, Kappa Jones and Tank Bennett. 2nd and 4 for Miller. McChesney off to the right, where there's a ton of linemen. Breaks a tackle. McChesney nearly got away. Gets a first down to the 37. 89 yards on 11 carries today for McChesney. First down, 3:55 to go.
First 4 minutes.
And apologize. Lost Eric there for a little bit. We'll try to get him back on the next play. Miller. Pass is intercepted by Kappa Jones at the Denver 37-yard line. Josh Miller, 10 interceptions in his first 10 games. He has 2 in the first half.
Yeah, and this is incredible here. I'm not sure what Josh Miller was looking at here on this play, just forcing the ball completely. There's no one open to get that there.
New Orleans has shut down Giacomo Jones. He's got 1 catch for -5 yards on 3 targets. He was targeted there just then. Gold now to pass, dumps it off to Jack. Logan Jack nowhere to go. Denver all over him. A 1-yard loss for Jack just outside of field goal range. Second and 11 at the 37. Back to throw. Gold, a good toss, and they rule him out of bounds. Powell looked into me. That could be worth a challenge.
Yeah, I definitely tossed the red challenge flag on that one, Cam. Looking at it real speed, It was looking like he got that foot in, so I would certainly entertain throwing the challenge flag.
No
Wow.
challenge. Boy, that's a coaching staff defeated, Eric. That's
kidding.
just, man, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going home. 3rd and 11 at the 37. Powell got knocked down at the top of the route, and that pass was late, getting over into the middle of the field. That was intended for Jaquez Lynch. And outside of field goal range, wow. Kappa Jones gets an interception. The defense got 2 sacks on the previous drive, and this Pharaohs offense has done nothing with those opportunities.
And again, that's what we're kind of harping on here, is that New Orleans just, and this has happened during the course of the season as well, in addition to the suspect play that we've seen stat-wise, but you got to convert on these opportunities that are given to you.
This punt, a beauty. Oh, but it bounced back into play and rolls into the end zone. Oh, Eric, I thought that was going to bounce out of bounds, and it hopped back closer to the end zone. That was a brutal, unlucky bounce. .251 to go in the first half. Denver 10, New Orleans 10.
And Chris, man,
3 receivers off to the top of the screen as Miller will fire it out to McChesney, and McChesney breaks a tackle and gets out to the 35-yard line.
oof, another vicious stiff arm there. I love seeing him throw the stiff arm, and that was Josh Vasquez coming up and trying to make the tackle. Normally a surefire thing, but man, watch that, boom, get on the ground.
That was Jones, and McDaniel ends up making the stop. 2.5 to go. Vasquez on the other side. We all do it from time to time. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. McChesney behind Miller. 3 down linemen for New Orleans. West barreling up the middle. Pass caught by Allen. First down, breaking a tackle. Past midfield down to the 41-yard line of New Orleans. A huge gain for Avery Allen, and Arthur had to make the tackle from behind.
Yeah, very impressive, and a good throw there. Avery Allen getting separation.
And we have reached the 2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. First and 10 at the New Orleans 41-yard line. Tie game at 10. 4 receivers, 3 to the right for Miller. And a play action from Miller, nearly intercepted again. That would have been the 3rd pick of the half. And Steve Aoki makes the play for the Night Wings down the field. Miller now 12 of 14, with still those only 2 incompletions, the interceptions. Second and 3 at the 34-yard line of the Pharaohs. Handoff, McChesney. McChesney, too strong to the 25-yard line. McChesney up over 100, and he's got Denver knocking on the door again just before the half, 80 seconds and counting.
Yeah, clock continuing to roll here, though. Denver's got to go quickly in order to get some points on the board.
3 receivers for Miller. Miller going to drop the pass, fire it far side. Battle, first down to the 13. A 12-yard pickup. And Denver's not even going to have to burn any timeouts on this drive. They look smooth. And all the opportunities for New Orleans they couldn't cash in on might haunt them here at the end of the half. Two receivers to the bottom of the screen. Down to 35 seconds to go. They're going to run to McChesney inside the 10. McChesney stopped at the 6 after a 7-yard pickup, and he pops up and quickly calls for time. 33 seconds remaining. 8 in the box now for New Orleans. Just the two deep safeties, one man, Arrington, guarding Jones. Dump off Aoki, and he's stopped by Irvine. This has been one of the best performances of the season for Levant Irvine, who was acquired in the offseason in free agency. Former player of Vancouver, Vegas, and Sioux Falls, still trying to find his place. 29 seconds to go in the first half. We're tied at 10. Crowd on their feet chanting defense, still trying to support New Orleans finish out the stretch. Keel at the top of the screen. Miller going to the end zone. The pass is caught by Jones for a touchdown. Giacomo Jones did nothing in the majority of the first half of play, and this is an absolute dart.
Yeah, that was a dime right there to Giacomo Jones. Very, very impressive throw into coverage, able to hold on to it and give Denver the lead again.
Jackman on for the extra point, and Eric, did you get me anything from the concession stand down there?
I really just needed a beer. It sounded really good.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. Extra point for Jackman is up and good, and it's 17-10. You know, you could have just gone to halftime, but the lines are too long, right? I mean, you gotta sneak out of here when you can.
Well, I used the beer as an excuse, but I also had to use the little boys' room a little bit. So it happens. I forgot my bottle that I usually keep here.
Man, we don't need to know that at home. Everybody at home.
Well, inside scoop there behind the scenes.
Hashtag bring a bottle. 25 seconds to go in the first half. And Denver kicks it away. Arrington actually going to get to return this. There's a strong wind blowing from left to right, but it'll only get up to the 21 with 21 seconds to go. So New Orleans will get the ball, I believe, to start the second half. They could try to take a deep shot here, go 2 for 1.
They could. I'm not 100% confident that that's the decision they're going to make here, especially being so deep in their own territory.
Jack just 43 yards, 6 carries. McChesney already up to 15 carries. Gold drops back, and Bailey Baca throws him into the galaxy. A loss of 6 yards, and that will end the half. They're not even going to run another play, or will they? Nope, that'll do it. Denver takes a 7-point lead into the half. No game is easy in the SFL, and we've reached the 2K Sports halftime report. Stats and highlights on your way next. 2:56 for Denver. A very balanced first half, and they've got over 4 minutes of time of possession to their benefit as well.
Yeah, and a little bit of a shaky start there for Denver, actually for both teams. Both teams exchanging picks to start things off, but then finally getting their feet, especially Denver, obviously now with the 7-point lead. You said it though, Cam, none of these games are easy here in the SFL, and we've got a good one in store for the rest of the way.
The Pharaohs have been playing some better football down the stretch. They nearly beat Vegas in an upset last week, and it's always good to see, when a team's had a tough season, that they've bounced back. They had a really difficult start to their season, but kept Tallahassee under 30, got in that crazy shootout with London, kind of let the San Francisco game get away from them a couple weeks ago, but played Vegas really tough.
Yeah, they did. Only a 6-point loss there, and they were in it the whole way as well. So it looks like they finally found their stride a little bit. Defense, again, being the final frame is what kind of did them in against Vegas last week.
And another positive that New Orleans can take into this is that they lost 23-3 to Denver in the first game, and their offense really couldn't move the ball at all. They've had a little bit more success today, and already have a touchdown on the board, down just 7. Chesney, 106 yards on the ground today, 15 carries, also has 31 receiving yards and 4 scores. Jones has the touchdown and is finally back into the positive yards category. 1 catch, 3 yards, 4 targets. Their leading receiver, their tight end, with 33 yards. And Powell leads all receivers with 43 at the break. Keys to the second half for New Orleans, Eric, what you think?
For New Orleans, again, we talked about it a little bit. Just throw caution to the wind. Go ahead and just air it out. You've got some weapons out there on the outside. Get Logan Jack involved in the screen game a little bit. I think you'll have success. And their defense just continuing to play lights out. I think they need to go in there and just make sure that they are stopping them on the run, maybe a little bit more than the pass.
We're underway, and Arrington will return it 2 yards deep in his end zone and only get out to the 22. Denver's special teams, some of the best in the league, and they have given Arrington nothing to work with through the first 22 minutes of play. So Xander Gold in the first half, 13 for 19 for 102 yards and the 1 pick. Shout out to Smokey Doral, who is handling stats for us behind the scenes today and doing an excellent job. One of our newest members to the statistician crew, and if you're interested in getting involved with the back end of SFL broadcasts, it's a lot of fun, and it really makes you appreciate what all goes on around here. You can contact Mark Lopez, and he'll get you all hooked up with the crew. How about that play from Logan Jack to start the half? Gets a first down.
And that was what I was talking about, Cam. Get him involved in the screen game a little bit. A little bit slow to get out of the backfield, but man, look at that spin move. Just left everybody in the dust. No one knew where he was going, and was able to break a couple tacklers after that and end up moving the sticks.
Adam Wiseman was not so wise on that play. He was all sorts of turned around. And that was tough to watch if you're a Nightwing fan. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line for Gold. A solid start to the second half for New Orleans, down 7. Handoff Jack up the middle. Logan Jack will pick up 4. You surprised? Just 6 carries in the first half after Robert Redford and Reggie Streeter had a field day?
Maybe a little bit, but again, I think that New Orleans has kind of found that, going to the air is going to be a little bit more successful just in general with their game plans going week to week here, especially after already being eliminated from playoff contention. So I think they're kind of working the passing game a little bit more than the run game.
Great double team block on Josh Vasquez. See, I did it too, Eric, the exact same players. And Jack gets a first down. I don't think I've ever seen a double team block executed better than this. Boom.
Oh, 100%.
Boom.
Yep, there it is. There it is. And normally our good friend referee 62 likes to throw the laundry out there on that one, thinking it might be a little bit of clipping, but I'm glad to see that he kept the flag in the pocket this time.
You're giving him too much credit calling him by his full name. Usually it's just R62. We just leave it at that. But respect. Respect. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Shovel pass is incomplete as Denver was all over that one from the start. That was Bodie Jenkins making the play. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10, the 7th incompletion for Gold.
Yeah, hats off to the Denver defense for recognizing the play, because New Orleans will throw that into the mix, and man, oh man, they'll get a good chunk of yards out of it if you're not ready for it.
9:22 to go in the third, 2nd and 10 at the 48-yard line. Gold out of the gun with 4 wide to throw. Gold has to get rid of it, finally does, and is there a flag on the play? Jack coming out of the backfield, but I think they may have blown that dead. Nope, no flag. Could have sworn I saw one thrown.
Could have been some grass that kind of got chunked up there somehow, some way. But yeah, Jack needs to hold on to that one. That's a good pass there from Gold, and you need to do your quarterback a little bit of a favor there and get the yards on that play.
17-10. Denver by 7, trying to hold on to the number 1 spot. Everybody behind them, one game behind them especially, salivating over a possible New Orleans upset here that could turn their season into something bigger and brighter. Gold is going to be sacked, dropped way in the backfield. That's like a 10-yard loss, and that is Nick Miller, signed last week.
Hats off to the new guy for continuing to work on his man, and that's on Xander Gold there. He's got to get rid of the football. Clock is ticking in his head. You can't give up that huge sack on 3rd down.
9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Shout out to Pseudo Nakai in the chat, wondering who in the world is calling a game with me. That is Eric Vincent hijacking his normal color spot next to me. Battle got a lot of room to return here, and then he gets jumped by Lynch in the open field. Give me your money. 1st and 10 at the 32, and that's where Josh Miller will take over. Follow us on the Twitter at SimulationFL, and you can follow me too, SFL Commissioner, on Twitter. Use the hashtag Make an Impact and spread the word. I got to tweet more often, Eric.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I gotta give people a more behind-the-scenes look into the life of the SFL Commissioner. It is quite the challenge as McChesney gets nothing. Averaging 7.6 yards a carry, though, through 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, he's had a couple big runs today, but overall, New Orleans, I think, doing a pretty good job keeping him in check. And I know I'd like to see more tweets from me about behind-the-scenes stuff. At least, some retweets, some likes, throw some stuff in there.
Miller all alone, and wow, McChesney going to get out of a bad situation. Nearly picked up the first down. Cornelius Arthur gets the eventual stop at the 41-yard line, but great play by McChesney. And retweeting is and liking. It's an art. It's an art, Vincent.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. There's a reason that they have guys that are in charge of social media out there. I am certainly not an expert by any stretch.
3rd and 1. They're going to hand it off to McChesney, and McChesney going to pick up the first down. Would you rather have anybody in the league that needs 1 yard for you than Jared McChesney? He is automatic.
Yep, that guy. That's who I want in my backfield. And, just plows ahead every time that opportunity is available to him. And a very impressive run there to move the sticks for Denver.
7:16 left in the third quarter. Nightwings on the move again, trying to pull away as Miller again can't find Jones open, but instead goes over the middle to the Faro 44-yard line, and that's Steve Aoki, who's had a bout of the dropsies this season, but has been very reliable this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely had a case of the drops. It almost drops that one there. I don't know if you caught that. He had to kind of double clutch a little bit as he was getting tackled and dragged to the turf, but nice soft hands that time for the fullback.
164 yards for Miller. Smokey Doral right on it. 17 of 19 still. We still have not seen a Denver pass hit the turf as McChesney picks up 4. That's remarkable.
Absolutely. Even despite throwing 2 interceptions, but, your only 2 incompletions are the 2 interceptions. His QBR is still 97.7. Incredible.
What would it be without the 2 picks? I mean, perfect, I would imagine.
Through the roof.
2nd and 6 at the Faro 40. 6:15 to go in the third quarter as Miller fires middle to absolutely nobody. There were 6 Pharaohs on the screen, and apparently it was intended for Aoki, but that's a bit of a stretch.
I think that is a little bit of a stretch. I think you're trying to find someone to blame there, and Aoki got the short straw.
If I was New Orleans, I'm saying, where's the intentional grounding? Denver right outside of field goal range, and an intentional grounding penalty could have been a big deal. That would have lost the down, too. 3rd and 6. 4 receivers. Jones running a slant top of the screen. Miller hit as he threw, and he's actually going to tuck it back in as the Pharaohs, that's Bryce Lincoln with his 2nd sack of the day, force a punt from the Nightwings. What a stop.
Yeah, New Orleans isn't done yet. Don't count them out. They've still got plenty of time to mount a comeback. Only down by 1 score, and that's impressive there on defense, as they've been impressive all game.
Pharaohs nearly blocked the punt. This ball bouncing inside the 10, and Denver pins them at the 1. Lily Long making it happen for the Nightwings. Alongside Smokey Doral on live stats, Eric Vincent on analysis. I am SFL Commissioner and play-by-play commentator Cameron Irvine with you here on Twitch. It has been a hot minute since I've been on our own network. So, Nice
Welcome back.
Nice little throwback to the past. 6 carries, 51 yards for Jack. First and 10 at the 1, handoff to Jack. Jack's got a first down and more. Past the 10, 15, 20. Logan Jack, one man to beat. It's Jones. 50, 40. He beat him. And Logan Jack, 99 yards for the score. New Orleans touchdown.
Man, oh man, they don't care that they're eliminated from playoff contention. They are playing for all the pride in the world, and man, hats off to Logan Jack, just beating everybody on the defense and taking a nice little stroll into the end zone, showing off for the home crowd.
This is the weakness. I think you can, with 3 games of data, Eric, it's become clear. Denver gives up chunk run plays. Jack now has 149 yards on 7 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible. You cannot say that this was the focus of the game plan very clearly, as he's only gotten those 7 carries. But man, you're absolutely right. Chunk plays like this is what is going to do you in. And man, oh man, I would be super worried if I were the Denver Nightwings going into the playoffs here, especially because right now, you're barely got the #1 seed. You don't want to repeat last season. Don't do it.
Upcoming broadcasts, if you've liked what you've seen today, another good one, Houston and Mexico City. It's the 11th meeting all time, and the Hyenas and Aztecs have split the first 10 as battle up the middle is tackled by Tank Bennett. The special teams specialist saves the touchdown. And Eric, that is why you pay for these specially skilled players.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tank Bennett has had a very quiet game, very quietly getting, 7+. I know he had 7 tackles at the half, which I thought was insane, considering we just hadn't called his name a ton. But he does it all, starting on defense, starting on special teams. He's the type of guy that you want on your side.
So after the 99-yard run for Logan Jack, Miller now fires a wobbler out to McChesney, and it picks up 5. And I got to hand it to the New Orleans defense, Vincent. They've done their homework, because that route that seems to always go to Giacomo Jones, Aaron Arrington has been blanketing him all day.
Yes, and Giacomo has been very, very quiet today. They usually like to go with him to the football. Obviously so, him being one of the more impressive wide receivers that we have in this league.
McChesney, nothing. No gain will set up 3rd and 5. Cornelius Arthur with another tackle and 113 yards for McChesney, but only 83 yards on 17 carries other than his monster run from earlier.
New Orleans starting to feel saucy on defense. They're starting to get a little more of this momentum. Watch out, Denver.
3rd and 5 at midfield. Play action, Miller. This time Jones is wide open. First down to the 41. They finally found him at the top of the screen on the play fake.
Yeah, and this was probably just a better run route this time by Giacomo Jones, just leaving. Looked like McDaniel was probably the closest guy on coverage. I'm not sure if Arrington was playing deep third on that play call or what the case was, but obviously left him wide open.
Jack, despite not having his best season, just rushed for his 10th touchdown. That is tied for 6th in the SFL on the ground, so not a bad season after all for Jack. Allen is wide open to the 26-yard line, and Avery Allen continues to be the team's top receiver as Miller approaches 200 yards passing on the day.
And that is what'll happen as well. When you can't get the ball to McChesney, you got to find another option, and he is that option when you cover the star wideouts, and a big target he is. He's been very impressive this season since he was signed.
Hand off to McChesney, and he rumbles for 7 into the Faro red zone of the 19-yard line. Not only does Streeter have 1,849 yards, Eric, but he also has 19 touchdowns, which is 6 more than any other player. 6 in the passing game as well.
Yeah, the guy is just an animal, and it would just be devastating if London does not get into the playoffs. We want to see this guy put on a show in the SFL playoffs.
McChesney with a lead block. McChesney gets skinny and gets down to the 2. A 17-yard run for Jared McChesney.
Man, and just as I was saying, New Orleans was looking saucy. They were feeling themselves a little bit. They're reeling now. The guys looking around, not sure what to do. McChesney just being the benefit there of maybe a pancake block, you can call that. I'm not sure, but a couple defenders just ended up on their butts, and they didn't know what happened.
And it goes back to that catch for Jones. That seemed to kind of deflate this defense, trying to get Denver off the field. McChesney has not been good inside the 5 today. No gain. Tank Bennett and company with the tackle. And maybe it's not so much McChesney, but New Orleans goal line defense that's been tremendous.
It could also be the Denver Nightwings play call as well, getting some inside info in the chat there. Jeremy Vega saying his red zone play calling has not been so good, and he's not happy they're at the 2 right now.
Interesting. 3 in the backfield. Handoff. Skeeter Baja says, "I got you, coach." And Denver regains the lead. Back and forth we go in the 3rd.
They need to call that play the Baja Blast as he just scoots on off tackle. Nobody's going to touch him into the end zone here. A very impressive blocking up front, and no wonder everybody's celebrating there as they retake the lead.
Baja Blast reminds me of a snow cone. Is that what you're referring to?
It's actually a Mountain Dew flavor at Taco Bell.
Well, I knew it was some sort of drink or something, but it got me thinking about snow cones, and now I really would like a snow cone.
I'll run down to the concession stand.
You nailed it. You knew exactly where I was going with that. As Denver hits the extra point, and it's 24-17. Revisiting what is happening at the top of the standings right now, Denver is trying to fend off 4 teams at 8-2. Alaska at 7-3 still has an outside chance at getting a first-round home playoff game, or I should say home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Still a pretty decent chance at getting a home playoff game if they can keep things up, but it is crowded at the top. And Alaska just getting into the top 6 last week for the first time in about a month after Chicago dropped that game to Houston, and it just kind of felt like, Eric, watching Houston miss out on that opportunity or Chicago rather, miss out on that opportunity at home last week. It just kind of felt like, man, they left the door open in for Alaska, and they just walked right in.
Yeah, and Alaska is always a dangerous team as well, and plenty of analysts have talked about this ad nauseum this season, that Alaska maybe not looking quite like themselves, but man, oh man, are they going to be a dangerous team regardless.
Logan Jack in open space, but Jones there to make the stop. 3-yard pickup. There's the quarterback comparison. Gold with just 114, and New Orleans actually now has more rushing yards than passing yards today.
Right, which is kind of the strange part, a bit of their weakness on offense. Actually, their strong point on offense, but still very mediocre as far as the league goes. Still sitting at 12th with 89.8 yards rushing per game.
Jack now over 1,000 yards for the 2nd consecutive season. He was drafted by this New Orleans team. His previous season high is 155 on 22 carries and 3 scores. That came in a 31-16 victory over Carolina. In fact, when the Pharaohs get over 100 rushing yards out of Logan Jack, they're 2-2. If they don't, they are 0-6 this season. So just getting him going has given them a better shot at pulling an upset here today. But Jack going to go nowhere on this 3rd and 6 check down. And Eric, recently we just have not seen New Orleans try to go downfield. Matt Wolf and Deezer Powell have gone very quiet.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, that was the route I thought they were going to take coming into the second half, and seeing them air it out quite a few times. You thought maybe they were going to focus on the pass game a little bit more, but, you know, I don't think Matt Wolf has gotten a target today, honestly.
Wolf with 4, but just 13 yards on 2 receptions. Powell has 6 targets, 3 receptions, 43 yards. John Jameson 1 for 9, but Clifton just 1 of 17. Gotta utilize some star players better on this squad. Denver, this will be their 54th offensive play on their 9th drive. New Orleans has had 41 plays on 9 drives in the ballgame. 13 seconds to go in the third. Miller, play action, in trouble. Miller going to be sacked again. Ray West coming on strong at the end of this season, and West and Lincoln have combined for 4 sacks today.
And New Orleans has to take advantage of it this time around. They had 2 sacks on one drive earlier and could not end up taking the lead after it forced a Denver field goal. We'll see what happens here in the fourth. I got my 4s up, Cam.
Get your 4s up, and that was a great point, Eric. We'll be back to New Orleans in a moment. Today's Simulation Football League game on the SFL Network on Twitch is brought to you in part by Nation's Best, helping high school, college, and pro athletes around the country help hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, the official scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, official merchandise partner of the Simulation Football League. And by Spygo, dedicated to the craft of audio. Beautiful sights from New Orleans and all drone footage all season long, brought to you by AirViews. Visit AirViews, that's AIRVUZ.com for more drone footage, and can't wait to show off some more in the playoffs. Just around the corner, Eric, if anybody missed the announcement, the playoffs will start Saturday, October 12th with the wild card round. There's a game at 5 Eastern, then a big rivalry in college football between Cal Poly and Cal Davis on the 11 Sports Network. And the second game of the wild card round, as that passes, nearly intercepted, tipped by Irvine, will be at 10:30 Eastern in the nightcap. Going to be one exciting day.
Yeah, 100%. Combine our lineup with that Cal Irvine, Cal Davis. Oh my gosh, man, that's a great game too. And Cal Davis has had some very impressive teams in recent memory. So looking forward to seeing that on top of obviously our impressive schedule for the SFL playoffs.
It's the 45th meeting between Cal Poly and Cal Davis. Battle for the Golden Horseshoe. 3rd and 18 for Miller. All of a sudden, Denver in some trouble here. 4 for 9 on 3rd down today. That pass has tipped him in the air and incomplete as Arrington got his long arms on top of that one. Pass again intended for Jones. But once more, New Orleans gets a sack on a drive. They get a stop, and Denver will punt for the 3rd time today.
And again, impressive coverage by Arrington, making sure that Giacomo doesn't get an opportunity at the football. And it forced a long throw there because of the sack. Going back to my previous point, they got to take advantage of it here. They got to tie the football game up with a touchdown.
Lily Long pinned New Orleans down inside the 1 on her last punt, but then Jack had a 99-yard run on the very next play, and Arrington will get the ball up to the 36-yard line. The wild card race looks like this coming into the week. Chicago in pretty good shape. Vegas has a bye this week, but plays Denver next week in Vice Wars 4. Sioux Falls and Queen City, brutal schedules down the stretch. They are clinging right now.
Yeah, and those are 2 of the bigger names in the SFL as well. It'd be huge if either one of them missed the playoffs this season.
Officially 8 carries for 151 yards for Jack, and now he has 9 for 158 as Vasquez makes the tackle.
Yeah, and Logan Jack has been looking very impressive on the ground today. Go figure, a man who rips off a 99-yard touchdown run after being pinned back deep is definitely looking impressive.
Eric, I heard you were getting a police escort to the game in Houston after we're done here. It's just a few hours down the road, but hyper-speed limos is some new technology that the SFL is testing out, and you're going to have to tell me how it goes.
I like it. We going across the Gulf? We going like on the water, or are we just hitting the highway and hoping we don't get pulled over by 5-0?
Just straight down I-10, and if let's just say the Louisiana police owe me one after an earlier injustice on the way to the convention.
Calling in a favor. Excellent. I like it.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Gold drops it off to Jack, and that just has not done much of anything today. Jack with his 10th reception of the day, but only 24 yards.
Yeah, and this is the type of play calling that we see from New Orleans. They like to get Jack involved in the screen game, in the pass game a little bit. So I think Denver might have game planned for that, which is why you see such dismal numbers through the passing game for Jack.
At the 48, Pharaohs trying to do something with this. Xander Gold has not had much of a day in the passing game, but drops that off to Jamison. Jamison unfortunately stepped out of bounds at the Nightwing 46. Otherwise, he might have had a first down. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, John Jamison, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's got those long legs there, galloping like a gazelle. If he had some room, man, oh man, he was gone.
Houston and Mexico City, their 11th meeting coming up next. They are tied at 5 all time. The Hyenas don't mess around when they play the Aztecs. Vincent on the call, along with is Tarillo with you on the game next?
Yes.
Great
the one and
pairing
only
there.
Michael Tarillo.
The one and only. 4th down. Jack can't get it done. And the drive for the 5th time today ends in a whimper for New Orleans. And that's the 3rd time today that New Orleans has either gotten a sack or a pick defensively and had to punt the next drive.
And Cam, this is why both these teams are at where they're at. That's towards the end of the season here. New Orleans on the outside looking in, cannot convert anything, any opportunity given to them. Denver making sure that they stand tall and get every opportunity back to keep their head above water.
I don't know what Chisholm is talking about, saying I was doing a 91 and a 65. I think he's been. I think Dunhill is misinformed since he was in the car with me when it happened. But
is that on a jet ski?
I wish. That sounds fun. As Miller goes down the middle of the field, and what a catch for Bryce Battle in a critical moment. Now Denver can chew some more clock as Battle gets it out to the 36.
The Rook, Bryce Battle, signed in week 9, holding on to the football through this vicious hit here by Kappa Jones. Very, very impressive.
Jones has played well today. He's had a nice game.
Has.
Kappa Jones with 6 tackles to go along with McDaniel, the second 6 tackles. That leads all defenders today unofficially. 1st and 10 at the 36. McChesney in the backfield takes the handoff, and McChesney not going anywhere. McDaniel Jr. like a missile, tracking McChesney down for no gain. That's the 7th tackle for McDaniel, the 2nd, and the 23rd carry for Jared.
Yeah, Jared's always been the workhorse, and these linebackers, again, very good pursuits, getting in there and making the stop. We'll have to see if Denver continues to chew this clock a little bit here.
Chesney on a trap, and he is trapped at the line of scrimmage at the moment. McDaniel, the 2nd, may have a bounty. We are in the right city for that.
I have no idea what you mean, Cam.
You wouldn't. You're a Jags fan. I don't think they get into the bounty game out there.
No, just prima donnas.
Yeah, they just get into the chatty game. 3rd and 10. Oh, another sack in the backfield. Denver really got to be concerned about how many hits Josh Miller is taking today. Only been sacked 18 times.
There.
Sorry, Eric. The 18 sacks on Miller all year long in 10 games. That's 6 now for the Pharaohs.
Impressive game plan here from New Orleans today. As again, I just thought it was funny that Ray West just kind of lowered his shoulder, he just kind of cocked it down a little bit. And Miller on his back as West is looking down on him like, what's up?
I know that Logan Jack is averaging 18 yards a carry, Eric, but I think I've got to just start throwing the ball downfield if I'm New Orleans. I've got to get Powell back involved in this game, Matt Wolf involved in this game, because Xander Gold a bit stale at the moment. 7 in the box. Gold going to throw out to Jack. Logan Jack, just nothing there all day.
Yeah, and it's only worked maybe one time that I can think of, and Jack put on a couple shifty moves and was able to make something out of nothing. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. I'd fire the cannon, so to speak, and just start airing it out downfield.
Under 6 to go. Gold in the shotgun. 3 receivers, 2 to the left. And going to throw. Gold going long. It is intercepted. What do I know? At the 38-yard line, Vasquez coming back the other way to the New Orleans 48, and Xander Gold can't believe it.
Yeah, very disappointed in himself there. I think if he got a little bit more air on the football, he might have completed this pass, but I like the play call. Trying to get Yassine Clifton involved. Looked like he had a little bit of a window in order to get it to him. Just needed maybe a yard and a half more in the air, and it would have been complete.
Now the Pharaohs are in trouble. Denver just about 20 yards or so away from Jackman's range. That pick hurt, and a nice play by Vasquez, making things happen for the Nightwings defense. Vasquez with his 7th interception of the season. That gets him close to the leaderboards, and he has been undoubtedly the top ball hawk on this team. Jones and Armstrong have 4 apiece behind him.
Yeah, and that's the defense there of Denver that, they hold their opponents to very few points per game, 17.9 points per game, which is currently second in the SFL. But again, earlier in the year, they were looking at records.
McChesney dumps off Arrington before McDaniel II makes yet another tackle. 3rd and 3 with 5 minutes to go at the Pharaoh 41. You just get the feeling, Eric, this is the ball game right here.
Yeah, got to get this stop here. If you don't get it here, Denver can do whatever they want at this point.
And will be in Jackman field goal range. Allen left off the line with a fullback. They might run McChesney left. See what they do. Linebackers off to the right side. There's McChesney running left. And McChesney is popped in the backfield. Another tackle for loss today for New Orleans. That's Irvine. And, in fact, they do get the stop. The Pharaohs 5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss on the day. And Denver has to punt again.
Hats off to the New Orleans defense for making sure they get the stop there. They have played very, very well despite the 24 points that are on the scoreboard. I think their offense just struggling to kind of keep them in the ball game and taking advantage of the opportunities their defense is giving them.
Low snap for Long, and if I was Arrington, I would have let that go down to the 1. Because that's the last time they had any offense. Was when Jack went 99 yards.
100%. But, I understand wanting to make sure that you don't get pinned back deep because, in actuality, it's probably not a great spot to be in. Totally get that.
Actually going to mark it at the 11, 10.5, I guess, rounding up. Gold going empty here. Press coverage. 9 on the line of scrimmage for Denver with 2 deep safeties. Oh, Gold's in trouble. There's a flag. That might have been a hold as he was quickly being pressured. Powell with the catch on the far side, but, well, I may have just got my wish there. Holding on the defense.
On the defense?
Mike Sawchuk down the field, and that is going to be, I believe they're calling that Powell. I believe they're calling that a catch, and that's going to be a first down of the 24. That's a 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, and a good throw and catch there. I did not think that Powell got his foot in to start with, and then on top of that, the holding penalty is called on top of that. That's a head scratcher.
And New Orleans is going to stay in this formation. Back to throw. Pressure on Gold. Escaped and sacked. Lost 6 yards. There is no blocking help up front, and Baca's putting in work.
O-line having trouble in this formation. They got to get it corrected here.
2nd and 16. Gold, a wobbly pass. Intercepted at the 33. It's Vasquez with his 8th of the season. And that was just brilliant defense by Denver. There was no blocking help. Everybody was getting bumped at the line. Gold running out of time constantly, and he just airmailed that into double coverage.
Yeah, that was certainly a wobbler. I heard it quacking all the way up here in the media booth, but good grief. Just nothing you can do there if you're Xander Gold. Pocket collapsing around him immediately, having to throw on the run, which is not his strong suit. And just great defense there by Denver to put this ball game away pretty much.
Vasquez has had 4 interceptions in his last 3 games as McChesney won't get anything. This is his 3rd season, and he had 2 interceptions each of his 2 seasons in Atlanta. Now has 8 in Denver. Pretty remarkable first season as a Nightwing.
Yeah, I would certainly say so, as Denver has found a good use for him back there at free safety. Shoot, maybe he just stepped up his play. He plays a little bit better in the high altitude in the Mile High City.
3 in the backfield. New Orleans needs a turnover. Otherwise, it's about to be a 2-score game real quick. Hand off, McChesney didn't get anything. Tackle from behind by West. Clock will continue to tick. Denver will have to run one more play. And at this point, I mean, it's going to be a McChesney handoff, and you're going to need a blocked field goal or a forced fumble or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eddie Gage took the words right out of my mouth. The West saved a touchdown right there because there was blockers in front of McChesney, and he was going to go to the house. So kudos to Ray West for getting that tackle there.
3rd and 10. Miller running it down. 22 for 27 today. Miller going to throw, and Miller out to McChesney. The pass is caught, and a dangerous play there as Denver tried to go for the jugular, and that is the 2-minute warning. Still 4th down. Still need a blocked field goal. Miller padding stats. Nightwings by 7, holding on to the number 1 seed. You're watching the Simulation Football League on Twitch, presented by APM Music. Jackman out there. He is perfect. Two touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Miller on the day. This is a 35-yarder for Jackman. And the snap a bit off center, but no problem. Jackman's field goal is good. And I think, Eric, the only hope for New Orleans might be an Aaron Arrington touchdown on the kickoff here.
Yeah, pretty much, or some sort of quick score. Shoot, we might see another 99-yard touchdown run by Logan Jack, but actually, going back to that 3rd down play for Denver, I actually like that play call there. Going for the jugular there, a little bit of play action, see if you can draw them in. If not, you dump it off, you still keep them in bounds, you run the clock, it is what it is.
Arrington on a return, nothing. And, New Orleans might look back at this game and kick themselves over the game plan. They ran Jack 9 times today. He had more catches than carries. And he dominated today. Even outside the 99-yard run, Logan Jack was good on the ground. Denver's really going to need to shore up this rush defense in time for the playoffs in a couple of weeks. And on that note, for when Vegas comes to town next week, or hosts Denver, I should say, because Las Vegas is, they could really do some damage on a miracle season here from Denver.
Yeah, Redford is a huge threat in that backfield. And Denver, it's all of a sudden just having tons of problems there on the ground.
Caught by Powell. Powell is going to break a tackle over the head of Jones. Vasquez couldn't catch him, and Xander Gold finds Powell for a miracle score, and it's not over yet.
No, it is not. And this is what we were looking for. Got to have a quick score. You go to your best weapon here on offense, 1 and 1A being Logan Jack and Deezer Powell, and that's 1A right there, getting the huge grab and burning Vasquez there. Nothing Vasquez could do other than to just swipe for the ankles. And man, oh man, New Orleans is not giving this one up.
Wow, 1:27 left. That's still an eternity. 3 timeouts for New Orleans. They can kick an onside kick, avoid Denver from getting a first down, even if Denver kicks a field goal, that's not the end of the world for New Orleans. As the Pharaohs' extra point from Ovaltine Jenkins is good. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered. And Gold now quickly up to 218 yards. 24 for 34, 1 touchdown and 3 picks.
And just a head scratcher there. It was inexplicable for Denver to give up that play. I'm not sure how they were able to give up that deep pass. They had to assume that they were going to throw the football.
Jenkins with the onside kick. Bouncing ball. It's still loose and they got it! New Orleans recovers the onside kick. It's number 88, Joe Davis.
Get out of here. You've got to be kidding. They kicked it right at the hands team and just holding on his back. Oh my gosh. Denver is trying to give New Orleans this football game, Cam.
The ball on Lee Adama's back and given to New Orleans with still all 3 timeouts and 1:25 to go, just 20 or so yards out of field goal range.
They could do whatever they want here, Cam. They can focus on Logan Jack if they really want to. We'll see what they do.
Xander Gold dumps it off short. Clifton caught. 5-yard pickup to the 48. Justin Jones quickly getting back in position. 1:10 to go. Gold going to throw again. Pass is dropped, and it's intercepted, and it's Lee Adama who redemption for Lee Adama in the slot as the pass is dropped and intercepted.
Man, oh man, what a roller coaster ride here. He gets burned too off the line, just trying to bump the wide receiver and just completely whiffs, and then is somehow in position to get the tip ball at the very end with the shoestring catch.
So basically, we're right back where we were if Denver would have recovered the onside kick. New Orleans still has all 3 timeouts, cannot give up a first down. Hand off McChesney. McChesney breaks a tackle, will pick up 2, and New Orleans will call time. And only this time, Denver certainly out of field goal range.
Which is at least a little bit of a small victory there for the Pharaohs. But again, going back to what we've been harping on all day, Cam, this offense just not doing this team any favors. The defense and the special teams now doing everything they possibly can to keep them in the ball game, and the offense just cannot keep them above water.
Lee Adama, who's P. Devious in the chat, saying my first pick. And congratulations to Adama for his first career interception. And how about that? You go from couch to field, and the man that dropped that was actually Jameson, who also has been signed since the 11 Sports partnership. But Adama whiffs on the onside kick, then gets the interception that might have sealed the game. And that is just the drama that the SFL can provide, taking you from couch to field and putting you in the spotlight. Here's a 3rd down, and McChesney ends the game
Bye-bye.
with an emphatic exclamation point. Denver is going to go to 10-1 unless New Orleans has something else left.
Man, what a candle on top of the icing and the cake and everything. Just give it all to me. This, lowering the shoulder, knocking Aaron Arrington to the turf. McChesney hitting pay dirt, extending the lead. And man, like you said, Cam, unless they've got another huge touchdown pass in their repertoire, I am not sure that New Orleans is going to have a chance here.
And New Orleans is going to look back on this season, and they're going to look at this game, and they're going to say, out of all the painful struggles this season, that was the one that got away.
I'd agree. I would agree. This would be the one they would circle and say, we had so many different chances to be the spoiler and just could not make it happen. And it defines the season.
Given the competition, this is, I think, by far, it hasn't been a complete game from New Orleans, but this has been the best they've played all season. They did struggle to get the passing game going, but Jack's been great on the ground. The defense has been outstanding, and they just gave up a bad play at the wrong time. McChesney, $197, 31 carries, But McDaniel the second with 9 tackles today. The defense had 5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. I mean, they have been all over the place. As Arrington almost got away.
Ooh. Held my breath a little bit on that one.
Wow. So at the moment, Denver appears to be holding on at 10-1. If they get the victory, they'll move a game and a half ahead of the rest of the field. But they are showing some signs of concern over the last couple of games. Some nail biters against some teams not currently in the top 10, as that pass is incomplete. And for the first time today, Nicholas Warner gets his name mentioned with a big hit.
There he is. Yes, we were looking for you, Nicholas. Welcome to the ball game, good sir. But again, going back to your previous point about the Pharaohs, this is the type of ball club that we thought we were going to see at the start of the season, a playoff caliber club that could come up and play with the big boys in the SFL. And again, hats off to them. This has been a great ball game to watch and a great ball game to call.
3 receivers, Gold out to Jack. I don't think so. Not happening. New Orleans will call their last timeout. Don't forget, coming up next, Houston will take on Mexico City as the Aztecs tried to avoid the upset just as Denver has done today. If Mexico City wins, they'll improve to 9-2, but their strength of victory the worst of the 4 teams tied, so if Mexico City wants to play at home in the first round, they may need some help. 3rd and 9 at the 28. 4 receivers for Gold. Gold down the middle, caught by Clifton to the 48-yard line. New Orleans is going to need to score in the next couple of plays. Quickly up to the line, Gold going to get the spike. 21 seconds to go.
And a good play there to get it to Clifton. He's been fairly quiet, and he's a big part. He has to be a big part of this offense. I feel like they just haven't gotten it to him enough this season, as he was a huge acquisition for this team. Again, coming into this season, a playoff team, thinking they were going to repeat. So I'm thinking they need to find a way to get him involved in the game plan more.
4 receivers, press coverage. Gold looking around, somebody get open, and he does. Matt Wolf, nice catch on the sideline. Steps out of bounds with 16 seconds to go at the Denver 40.
And these are the type of plays they got to run right now, Cam. They got no more timeouts. They got to find a way to stop the clock, and it takes a lot of time to get back up to the line and spike the football. Might as well just run these out routes and these corner routes to get them kind of out of bounds and stop the clock.
With no timeouts, if I was New Orleans, I'd try to get into field goal range with a pass to the sideline, kick the field goal, because it's going to be very difficult here without any timeouts. Gold floating it down the sideline, and it's just a little bit too much on it. Powell would have been open if Gold could have let him down. The white chalk, incomplete.
Yeah, and I think that was more of the route. I'm not sure why they're reviewing this. It looked like he was well out of bounds on this one.
Well, we'll have to see. Look at that bump from Jones.
Ooh.
And he's way out of bounds. I mean, Jones disrupted the whole rhythm of that play.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way. Oh. What? I don't know what that was. What is?
I'm not sure what New Orleans was cheering about on the sidelines. Because,
what is what is Arrington? Somebody told him the wrong thing over there. Somebody's playing a practical joke. That is not funny. Gold's going to line it up in the Hail Mary formation now, and it's total desperation time for New Orleans. They down 3. Had the football in good field position. That's going to end the game. They had the ball in great field position. And that interception, that drop, really, it wasn't even Xander Gold's fault. But that drop will live on in infamy as the definition of New Orleans' frustrating season. Your final numbers, man, pretty even. Denver dominated time of possession, and the turnovers just killed New Orleans.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And again, hats off to the New Orleans defense for getting the 2 turnovers that they did against this very talented Denver Nightwings offense. It's something that you're not necessarily going to see all that often, so you take advantage of those opportunities given to you, and the New Orleans offense just couldn't quite do it today.
New Orleans very good in the red zone, but Skeeter Baja's touchdown was a nice answer for Denver after the 99-yard touchdown. Battle with some pretty clutch catches today, but Denver wipes the sweat off the brow. They're 10-1. They avoided the upset. They got a rematch with Vegas in Vice Wars 4, and you know the Fury, if sitting at 5-6, that game's going to matter to them just as much as it's going to matter to Denver. That's going to be an incredible ball game.
That might be the fan night game of the week, depending on how the rest of the good people in the SFL community vote. But I certainly would throw my hat into the ring for that one.
Not to rain on the fans' parade, Eric, but actually the schedule will be announced after Monday night, and the matchups will be ordered in order of importance to the playoffs. So who knows? Maybe that Denver-Vegas game will be the last game of the week to decide wild card teams and who gets the overall #1 seed. It's going to be a very interesting Week 13, and there's the play of the game right there. Hats off to Liadama. He could have been known as the villain in Denver, and instead he turned his fortunes around and he was the hero.
Absolutely, getting his first career interception. Hats off to you, Liadama. And again, redemption, my friend. That was a great job. Just keeping your head down, getting your helmet back on, going out there playing some football, and turning your team's fortunes around.
Xander Gold's final attempt deep, not enough, and the Pharaohs fall to 2-9. They still are in contention for that #1 overall pick. That draft, again, the first round live on 11 Sports Saturday, December 14th. New Orleans 2-9, Carolina 1-9, St. Louis 1-9, all in contention. McChesney, your player of the game, 195 yards, 29 carries, 54 receiving yards, and a touchdown. And for Smokey Doral, who did a brilliant job on stats, and for Eric Vincent on color, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. Coming your way next, Houston and Mexico City. Have a great day, everybody.
I'll see you there.